and Mr. Pageant and Mrs. Young, please join me on the stage. And now our 11th grade Falcon Award winners, our last awards for this evening. Male, Mr. Clarence Allen. And female, Amy Chan. We'll begin with Emily Millenberg presenting Clarence Allen his award.
This kid gets it. Whatever it is, Clarence gets it. He sees the big picture of the world around us and is not just content going along for the ride, he'd rather drive. Clarence is out to make big changes in our school and in our community and goes about it with grace and diplomacy. Not only is he an excellent student, but a great thinker who questions everything, ponders the answer, and then eloquently responds. Outside of Highlands Ranch, Clarence has delivered speeches at community events such as Denver's Martin Luther King Jr. March and is working with nonprofit youth organizations and poetry performance groups to make a change. Mrs. Goodwin also adds that Clarence is a strong student who is curious, engaged in learning, cares deeply about others' welfare, and is willing to speak up in class about his thinking and beliefs. He also juggles his academics with sports. This is a kid you will see in the future in our community doing big, big things. Congratulations, Clarence.
They convinced me that both of them get to say some things about Amy Chen. So Mrs. Young and Mr. Pageant and me.
All right, we've all heard about Amy's successes in the classroom tonight, but there's also some other successes that she's had. She not only will spend her lunchtime sitting in my classroom, working with other students, helping them to learn the concepts. She'll even be raising money for children over in Ethiopia as part of the DECA program. I've had the privilege of having Amy in class for 2 years with DECA. She's also a 2-term state officer for Colorado DECA, which is in the entire state, a 2-time national winner in the top 10, and we're hoping to do that again the third time next year. I, of course, have a tendency to talk about all the great things Amy does in my classroom, but you've got to remember she's got 6 other classes, which she does a phenomenal job in also, as well as on the track team. I know Amy will be very, very successful in life and be able to transfer those abilities to whatever she chooses to do. Amy is her own worst critic, and if there's one thing that I always want her to always hold in her mind is what a wonderful person she is and how she so positively touches everyone's life as well as my life, and she's just a great recipient. I'll let Mr. Pageant say a couple of things.
I've traveled all day, we could talk and we couldn't win, so I won an arm wrestling contest and that was a tie. But anyway, I first got to meet Amy in 8th grade with her and her mom. And one of the things I told them, they were looking around, we are a community of choice, and they were looking at different schools. And I told her if she came here, it would be the perfect fit, that she would just excel. And she is the only person that's ever really listened to it, so I think. And then the other story, last Saturday we hosted a track meet, and she's one of our varsity athletes. And one of the things that she did is the last hour of the meet, she got her own bag on her own and cleaned up the entire stadium. She had help with Andrew, and because she wanted Highlands Ranch to be represented as best as it could. And that's the kind of person that Amy is. And she's just a great student, great individual, and just a pleasure to work with her. Congratulations.
right, let's give Clarence and Amy one more big round of applause. To finish up, I'd like to recognize our assistant principals that will help serve some